time in order to cut her out.
Oh my gosh, that's always a mess, though, isn't it?
Well, the big thing is they were going to start the storyline. Hello, folks, come on in. They were going to start the storyline of his child because his child gets ruthlessly murdered in the comics. Whether they were going to stay to canon or not is is anyone's guess anymore, because like Marvel, they like hiring people who have never read an issue of Aquaman to write Aquaman. So
yeah, right.
Or to write these characters.
Well, they're talking about putting him as Lobo. I don't. Somebody said use what's his name, Carl Urban, to play Lobo, and I thought that was actually a pretty good idea.
No, dude, they're already in production. They are in production on Judge Dredd too. He's Judge Dredd. Leave Carl Urban alone. Let them do Dredd. Let's
Have
see
you
them.
not seen this man could do anything? He could do it all.
Let them do Dreads. Let's see a Mega Series 1 or Mega City 1 series on Netflix. Let's see all sorts of Dredd stuff with Carl Urban, and just leave him be. They'll end up putting Atlantis down by South America anyway, and have him portrayed by a Latina actor next time. I mean, they got close. Momoa's part Hawaiian, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he? Samoan. Yeah. It's all right though. He's not a bad actor for that kind of film. And like they keep saying now, they're not really making movie stars. They're making comic book heroes.
Quentin Tarantino got a lot of flack for that one.
I've not seen it. So
I understand what he means, though.
What's his face? The guy who plays Falcon come right in after that and said the same thing. So they're not making movie stars here in the MCU. They're making characters and icons and brands. That's all they're concerned about.
Well, at least he knows what he's there for.
Well, I think that started around Iron Man 3 when they quietly told Robert Downey Jr. that, you're replaceable.
Did they really?
We can find somebody to play Tony Stark if we need to. Other than that, you're just a guy in a suit, dude. You stick your face through this hole so that we can put all this electronics around you. Other than that, all we need somebody to stand there and look drunk. It'll be great. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if it would still have the same charm, because it really is Tony.
No. All of their casting's been amazing, right up to Eternals, I think. And Tatiana Maslany was phenomenal casting, just horrible writing on the show. Just really bad. But again, you've got these idiots going out to the press going, we don't know nothing about no lawyer thing. And it's like, you idiots, why are you even admitting that? It's the same thing. They're boasting that they go through and they have people writing these comic book movies who've never read a comic. It's like, really? Just go on. Just get out of here. No wonder you're not making the money you used to make. All of the other stuff before Endgame, they were proud of the source material. They were talking, Evans was talking about how he's gone and read these books and was a fan of these all of his life, and all of the power of comics. Basically, all of these guys do research on this stuff, and now they encourage them not to. Don't read it. We don't want you to be influenced by the actual source material. Heaven forbid.
Yeah, that's exactly what that guy
just idiotic.
That casting director or whatever that was said that if you're emphatic about the comics, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
To an extent, I guess I could understand that if you don't want them, like, some things have to change between the mediums, but the way that they're doing it is really over the top.
Maybe modern writers, but Stargirl, in my opinion, is one of the best CW shows that they've gotten. It's because it's Jeff Johns' baby. He actually patterned that after his daughter, I think, the main character. So he's got a deep emotional investment in it, and it's been fun. But I'm a sucker for the Justice Society anyway. My favorite cover is All-Star 3 that Glenn absolutely hates, of all the guys sitting around the table.
For the record, I did not say I hated it. I don't hate anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn.
I
didn't mean to put words in your mouth. You said it was a lousy cover.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that doesn't mean I hate it. And it is a lousy cover. You look at that cover next to that Kirby one with it, with the Silver Surfer on the FF. And tell me which is the better drawing.
Well, you don't have to. I know the answer to that right off the bat, but just that, to me, that cover is that shows the Justice Society. That's pretty hot.
That's why I don't read the Justice Society then.
And just think, well, a lot of them were just cartooned adventurers back then as well, but everybody had their own little hook and specialty, but they were mostly a straight takeoff from the old pulp heroes, the old pulp characters. Sandman had a gas gun, and Our Man had a pill that made him strong for an hour. And Adam had no powers whatsoever. Oh, now laugh. Dr. Midnight had glasses because he was blind, and the glasses allowed him to see, especially at night. So he was Dr. Midnight. Ran around with an owl as a companion, as a mascot. Oh, look who else is here.
Well, I'll be. Look at that. Well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning. On air, eh?
I know. Well, at least half of me, the part you can see. Am I oversharing again? I apologize.
Well, on these shows, pants are always optional.
That's true. In fact, my wife found this at a show, and oddly enough, she thought I could use it. So
absolutely. Here we go.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
That would be me.
We're running the opening. You're just in time.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
You ever see our opening? Should I play the long one or the short one? That's the next question.
Golly, Randy, let's play them all.
Well, it's only a difference of like 12 seconds. But
the best 12 seconds of my life, I'm sure, just like my honeymoon.
Here we go.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
I need a cigarette. That's great.
That's the show. That's the entire theme of the show in 45 seconds.
Pretty sure. And I feel for that get off my lawn thing. So yeah. But good morning. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Well, folks, come on in. This is Comics by Night. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. We're going to look at Steranko today, and the other half maybe of the Artisan book. Well, we should be able to get through it today. Russ isn't here, so half of the drool, I think, is gone.
I'll try to make up for him.
Yeah.
Also joining me this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've written lots of books, science fiction, NASA, soccer books, adult humor, 2 books about Kennedy assassination. I've published this book about Jack Kirby, and I also wrote and published this one about Jack Kirby.
There we go.
Then this was edited by this young man here with a strange hat on. And I've also written about my travels around the world, especially to Easter Island, this one, Rapa Nui. I publish Comics Unlimited magazine, which is a quarterly 100-page magazine about comics. And I also write and draw Hatch, which is my cartoon character. Number 2 is coming out in the new year. And the odd children's book.
There you go. Yeah. Also joining us is C. Michael Lanning. Oh, before we jump over to you, C. Glenn, I sat and watched a Netflix series a couple of days ago called Ancient Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't go to Rapa Nui.
Did they not go there? Wow.
No. They went in all sorts of other weird, crazy places. The guy seemed to be stuck on 12,800 years ago. He seems to want to prove that civilization was around and organized before, or right at the end of the Ice Age.
What, 40,000 years ago? 12,000 years ago.
12,000 years
ago.
Yeah,
it was civilization was around before that. Even that.
Organized civilization. He seems to run a theory that when Atlantis sunk, some of the participants jumped on boats and traveled all over the world after a great Earth disaster and taught everybody how to farm and build stuff.
Yeah, that'd be the flood, wouldn't it, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Flood was the Noah event was 6,000 years ago. This was when the Earth tilted, and one of the Earth tiltings and near extinction event.
Wow. Anyway. I'm surprised he didn't go to Did he go to Machu Picchu south in Peru?
No, he didn't do that either. I think he avoided all of the big places to hit all of the oddball, darker places that you had. He went to the Serpent Mounds in Ohio.
Did he? Did he go out the United States?
Oh yeah, yeah. He went all over the world. He went to the big city, the big underground city in Turkey, and walked through that quite a bit and talked about it and figured that talked about what it was. And he did something in Peru, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't Machu Picchu.
Did he go to the pyramids in China?
No.
There are pyramids in China. Did he go to the coast of Japan?
They didn't allow him on the Serpent Mounds to film. I don't think they'd allow him into China. He was boasting he was some big controversial figure who wanted to change the theory of archaeology as everybody knows it, because everybody hated him for suggesting that civilization actually went back that far.
They might not want him in Ohio either, so...
Yeah, no, that's why they didn't want him in Ohio.
But the food's better.
But he went through and explained a lot of... It was really interesting. Every episode was like a half an hour, and he went to Bermuda. There's a road under the water in Bermuda that he proved was man-made. Had a guy with radar go through, and had another deep diver went through and looked at it. Big chunk of road that he was theorizing about, with blocks that were intentionally set, big monolithic blocks that were set next to one another. He did someplace in Peru, but it wasn't Machu Picchu.
Was it Cusco?
That might have been.
Well, he should have just gone down the Urubamba River then, because Machu Picchu is not far from Cusco, so he should have gone down there.
He did Turkey, he did Peru, he did Bermuda, he did Indonesia. There's a big pyramid in Indonesia. He did Mexico.
Did he go to Uluru in Australia? Ayers Rock?
No. Sure, well, he might have been saving all that stuff for season 2 also.
I hope so. Anyway.
We've got Steranko, and we've got C. Michael Lanning. Stuff.
I want to hear more about Machu Picchu. I didn't know that place even existed until that commercial came out a few years back.
Wow.
The failure of our school system.
So much so, Brian. So much so. It's pretty crazy when you get into it. And depending upon how deep you want to follow down that rabbit hole, the crazier it gets. But the theory is that the Earth shifts every 12,000 years. Mm-hmm. And once it shifts, everybody forgets everything because they're just trying to survive.
Because they're all dead.
And that too. There's a very slim portion of the population that's still alive.
It's due to happen next week. It's 12,000 years since the last one.
They figure it's sometime between 2030 and 40. And we're watching the magnetic field drop now, and the Earth's sun cycle's growing, and all of these guys are pretty concerned, They're theorizing one good Carrington event, and we're back to the Stone Ages already. And then when the Earth tilts, everything goes crazy.
Isn't Yellowstone Park going to pop and take half of
No, a lot of people are saying that, but the people that I listen to, everything's always best guess anyway. At this point, nobody knows what actually happened 12,000 years ago. But they're saying that Yellowstone's one of the safest places.
Safest?
Because it's constantly
everywhere else is going to get vaporized then if that's the safest place.
Pretty much.
Right next to Mount St. Helens, let's all go.
It's constantly relieving the pressure. building
Yeah,
up underneath. They figure it's going to take tens of thousands of years before Yellowstone gets anywhere close to catastrophic.
Well, from what
They're
I've heard,
watching they're watching the
next
lava
week.
build up, and it's still going to take a while for the pressure to build, because you have the geysers over there in the pools, and you're constantly getting, little puffs of relief in the park. Every time a geyser goes off, a little bit of that pressure's let off. So as long as those geysers are still working, they're not really afraid, except for the doomsayers. Everybody's got their conspiracy theory that they like to promote because it helps them sell their books and their T-shirts. So, but it's really interesting once you get into it. But
I'm glad I got fresh foil in here. I'm telling you.
There you go. The whole paleo archaeology, climatology thing is really fascinating, because they're starting to take myths and cave etchings and paintings a lot more seriously, instead of just the crazy imaginings of mad artists.
Isn't it funny how the conspiracy theories about people saying these drawings on these walls in these caves are hundreds of thousands of years old, and then when some scientist decides it's true, it's suddenly not a conspiracy theory anymore.
Yeah. Well, it
takes
takes
that one. Oh, we knew that. All like that Turin Shroud thing they did 20 years ago. When they pestered the Vatican to get a tiny, tiny, tiny dot of a thread, and they could prove how old that linen was. And they stopped them for hundreds of years doing it, or 50 years for doing this. And they finally gave in, and they proved that the Turin Shroud that is in the Vatican was made in the 13th century. Therefore, it's a fake. Oh, we knew it was a fake. It's a copy.
Yeah.
It's a variant edition.
And then we've got the Pope now, the current Pope, saying, of course there's people on planets out in the universe. Why would God only make us? Well, that's because that's what you've been telling us for 4,000 years.
Exactly. Look at how long it took them to forgive Galileo for saying that we revolve around the sun.
What they did with Plato as well, 300 years before that, 500 years before that. They didn't kill him because he was telling lies. They killed him because they knew he was right about the Earth going around the sun. They made him, he had to eat a piece of poison every morning for 2 weeks, and he killed himself. He knew what he was doing. It was either that or get dragged through the streets, chopped to pieces or whatever,
Yeah.
So he poisoned himself because they knew he was right.
Well, the one thing the guy on the TV series pointed out is here you go to Turkey and there's all these deep holes, and here's this entire city that they dug out that 20,000 people could survive in.
Göbekli Tepe.
Yes, that's right. I'm horrible with names, but he went through and walked through that really extensively, and he's like, well, you compare that to old Bezos has got a mountain here that he's dug out, and so-and-so's got a mountain here he's dug out, and the United States has a big one here in Colorado they've dug out. Oh, who knows why they were going to do that, right?
Have you seen?
They have places that they've shown where they have
those bunkers,
in caves and stuff like that, which is.
Randy, did it show you that
kind of biblical?
So all the people that ruined our society will survive. Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Did it show you that pillar it weighs about 600 million tons?
Which one?
The one in Göbekli Tepe, where it's like a pillar and it's on its side, like what they call it. I can't remember what they call them.
No, he just kind of paraphrased. There were a lot of features there, and walked into a lot of the rooms. They were theorizing the upper levels were made for people to actually live in. And the rest of them might have been dug out over periods of time, because everybody's gone through and done their little tests on it, and everybody has their own little theories on it. Like I said, nobody really knows for sure. Who knows what happened 12,000 years ago? It's just that they're theorizing now that civilization's risen and fallen a good 4 or 5 times. That's why there's Neanderthals and giant skulls and skeletons laying about. At one time when we were growing, we grew really big.
15 feet high.
That's always been back and forth. They can't decide on if we were big and then if we shrunk, or if we were small and got big. They can't. They've never been able to.
I think it's a different kind of species. It's like, I think that's where David and Goliath comes from.
Yeah, the Philistines. Yeah. Yep. I think we got big, then we got small, then we got big again. So I think that we're definitely taller than what we were back in the 1800s.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I went to George when I lived out east for a while. I went to George Washington's house, and they had like his suits there, and they would have fit a teenage boy of the time.
Yeah.
And this was a grown man. But, they say that due to our diet and such and taking better care of ourselves that we have actually grown. So
Well, that's happened in Japan since the United States occupied it since the war.
Yeah.
The people, because they introduced sort of red meat, so to speak. They used to eat a lot of fish and things, didn't they? And still do, I suppose. But everybody's
red meat and grease.
Yeah,
Fast food,
yeah. McDonald's,
salt and sugar,
burgers. A lot of the males are now, 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot now.
Yeah.
So that's 70 years, isn't it?
With 4-digit cholesterol levels too. So
that's
our good works.
We don't care about that. That's just a side effect. They're not bothered about that.
That's true.
Back during the Civil War days, though, Alyssa Milano would have been average height.
Yeah.
Whereas
now she's only fun-sized.
Yeah, now she's only fun-sized. They had a couple of costumes of hers at a San Diego con one time that they used on Charmed, and I'm like, that girl is incredibly small. It's like, wow. Look at that gun. Right
there. How about them comics?
How about them comics, folks? Also joining us today, I should say, is Mr. C. Michael C. Introduce yourself.
I'm C. Michael Lanning, graphic translator, as Will Eisner would have put it. I've done work for Arrow Comics on Calico and Shard. A couple of other things. Had an upcoming Doghouse from Hasm Productions. And, of course, I host Dispatches from Outside the Box every
I was waiting for that.
At 8 p.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network. I did it just for Glenn now. I did it the other night just for Glenn.
Hashtag always promote.
Also joining us, Brian. Also joining us is Brian K. Morris. Brian, introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Brian K. Morris. You can find everything I do at risingtide.pub. We have a Thursday night show called Comic Book Spectrum where we talk about, get this, comics. I edit comics. I edit great books like the above. I also write my own, and you can find my stuff on Amazon, and I'm here every now and then, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this morning.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I just want to point out now that we can actually talk about the book. This book is...
Oh, yeah, we are, aren't we?
That's what we're here for.
This book is huge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're talking 18... where's my ruler? There is 24 inches. It's like 22 inches tall by 16 inches wide. So that's why you have the camera angle that we have today. I'm on a tripod and sitting a ways away so that I can just reach over and turn the page if we have to. We're in the middle of a Nick Fury story from Strange Tales. This is the first, I believe, story that's all Steranko, that he's not relying on Jack Kirby layouts. And also one that he wrote himself.
Oh, one thing I want to bring to this... last week and I can see a couple examples on the pages, or the page on the right, where we noticed some of the lines, some of the lettering had been whited out.
Yeah.
Yep.
The latest issue of Alter Ego, which is all about the Fantastic Four, it was mentioned in one of the articles that what Stan liked to do was wait until the boards were completely finished, and then he would make one final pass through and make final corrections, usually in the dialogue then.
Wow.
And that's what I think we see all the whiteout, where Stan, who was still doing the lion's share of the editing, I think, at the time, would say, okay, there's a better way to say this, and then he'd have someone white it out. And it wasn't always the letterer who did it, which in this case looks like Sam Rosen. It might be like one of the production people, like Irv Watanabe or Mori Kuramoto, or it might just be some guy that could letter and walked right in. Well, in fact, notice Rosen's credits look like they've been corrected.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's heavy whiteout right here. Apparently, at the last minute, they decided to call him Marvel's Secret Squirrel.
Yeah.
Don't Yield, Back Shield, edited by Stan Lee. Marvel's James Bond, written and drawn by Jim Steranko. Marvel's Man Flint, lettered by Sam Rosen. Marvel's Secret Squirrel.
I love that.
Just great. And again, look at that great negative space right there. Just incredible. What a layout. Love that. Anyway, back to where we were.
You were just saying, Brian, about it looks like somebody was, not like Sam Rosen wasn't doing the fix on it.
Yeah.
It was just somebody who could letter. And if you look carefully, it's done by somebody who couldn't letter but could do it on time. From my
Yeah.
That's usually what it came down to. The one thing that they couldn't miss was their deadlines.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because they would have to pay a penalty, I believe, to the printer.
Yeah, or substitute it with a book.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With another product. Thus, the Avengers were born.
There you go.
According to a blog that I read from Jim Shooter, he said that the other book that they had planned for that slot was given to Bill Everett. And he was in. They went to look for him and found him drunk in the bathtub.
It would have been Daredevil.
I've heard the story. Yeah,
Daredevil number 1, I think. Yeah,
that was Daredevil number 1. Yes.
So of course Jack Kirby stepped into the breach again and did Avengers over the weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Steve Ditko pitched in and helped finish Daredevil.
Yeah.
We were just saying before we came on air, Randy, weren't we, that there's a lot of whiteout in this particular book.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yep.
It seemed like there was a lot of changes. Look at Fury's face there on the other panel, in the middle panel. His face has been whited out, yeah.
Yep.
And if you look at the panel above that in the middle, the borderline has been whited out to get rid of it. The middle panel.
This is a fresh layover as well. You can tell the darker cover.
Yeah.
Which panel were you talking about?
Other page.
Yeah. This is a paste in this box
middle.
here.
Top middle. Other page. This left-hand page, as you look at it.
Here.
Top tier, middle panel. That the frame. Yes, the frame has been whited out there to make it.
Yes,
to make
it has.
open.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of work being done on that book.
Yep. Somebody decided that panel needed to breathe.
Yeah, they were right, weren't they?
But it worked.
Oh yeah,
it worked.
It works incredibly. All of this stuff works incredibly well. Let me turn the page here. We're almost done with this story, actually.
It's still fabulous, though, isn't it? Look at that!
Oh,
Look at that!
amazing!
Look at that explosion there! Vroom!
Yeah!
Wow!
Yeah. Cov-room.
Yeah, we're back to good sound effects again, rather than pow and crash.
There's a zip.
And look at that left-hand page. That center panel is on is a 45-degree angle to get the shot in. Literally get the shot in the middle panel. The middle one.
Oh, here, yeah.
All
of that's got some great angles to it. Look at that tight hand right there.
Yeah.
Especially because he had to hit that dial that says overload.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way he could fix the system. Oh, I see it. Overload.
Yeah, look on the left-hand page, towards the bottom, that word balloon. Fury's still alive. I mean, they must have gone to Sherwin-Williams to buy all the white paint to change that dialogue.
This is all
probably got it off Mike Nesmith's mother.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't it make you wish you could just peel that off and see what the original was?
Yes and no. Yeah, you don't want to hurt it.
Yeah.
There's heavy blue line Ames lines here. They expected that dialogue to go a little farther.
Oh yeah.
Right here. It's our only chance.
We were saying last week that center panel would be a great pin-up, wouldn't it? That Kabroom one. We were saying last week about Steranko's panels having such force. They'd all be great posters and things.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
All that line work.
When I see him, there's one word that comes to mind, and that's lines. He's very line oriented, which is maybe just because of it adds that depth to it.
Well, Steranko's, I think the biggest thing Steranko's known for is his design work, his eye for design, and that includes the lines and the directions, making the eye in a particular way. Or right here is a great example. Look at how that panel is bent.
Yeah,
I mean, everything is bent to service the story here. You're not seeing that anymore on modern comics, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at the right-hand page, the top two panels. As far as fight poses go, those are pretty wimpy poses.
Yeah.
But Steranko is smart enough to put in those force lines.
Yeah.
To make you think that they were actually trying to bash each other's brains in.
Yeah, go ahead, see.
Well, I was just gonna say that first panel actually looks like a real fight when you see two guys on the street.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're swapping
It's not
punches.
a dynamic fight at all.
Yeah, the second panel looks like a fist bump gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed.
I was going to say,
Try again.
if Sal Buscema was drawing this panel, that arm would be way over here. Long after the swing, there'd be a big sound effect here, and you'd see probably the bottom of their feet or them flying off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they'd also be like the guy on the right would be pitched forward. You'd see that in a Kirby page.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The force of his blows threatening to drag him out of the panel.
Yeah.
But he got it right in that next panel, didn't he?
Oh, he sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. It's just somebody's, it's just his different.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the perspective here. Everything's down.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really Wally Wood machinery, isn't it?
Very
It
much
does.
so,
It
yeah.
does look like that. Yeah.
It does.
Look at that phone he's got there.
When you take from the best.
Yeah.
It's that Kirby shadow line here underneath the lip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little squiggle on its chin.
Yeah. Just great stuff.
Oh,
That's so obviously wood here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of wood up
Fabulous,
there.
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
just amazing. You could
I'd
say
love to have seen Wood ink Steranko.
that would have been really interesting. I don't think anybody inked Steranko though. Did they?
Yeah. 'Cause-
Joe Sinnott in Captain America.
Oh,
and,
did he?
and
Okay.
Frank Giacoia, I think, and Dan Atkins may have inked a couple of his Furies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah. Early on, I think we passed Dan Atkins. Next, trapped on Hydra Island. Oh no.
Ooh.
Ominous. That's a double panel here without having a separation or a gutter. Just it looks like there's a tearing effect.
He's gone back to Kirby, like you said, with those chins, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's that little squiggle thing.
Yeah.
And
What
Wally Wood machinery.
What a classic. He could have lifted that camera up a little bit. Instead, it's a worm's eye view to show how powerful Nick Fury is.
Yeah.
And his feet on the bottom of the panel as well. Again, like we said last week.
Right on the line. Yeah. Sweet. And again, great use of zipper tone here. Lighter shade up to a darker shade with a little bit of white splatter for stars.
Nice.
Just great stuff.
Yeah.
And again, heavy rework right here on that panel.
Yeah.
Blue ink lines over top of white out paint, even some of it not patched up here for the panel border.
It'd be interesting to see that panel in the published magazine to see whether those lines are on.
I doubt they're there. They're in blue line. So
right. Okay.
Let me see.
Well, and also the printing at that time was so crappy.
Yeah.
That was part of the charm.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, in the middle panel, you can see when he says, "But sir, I wanted to." You can see the lines on the again on the lettering. Those lovely Ames guides.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? I'm gonna write to Ames, and I want a royalty because since I mentioned it a year ago, everybody seems to be buying them.
Oh really?
Yeah, and everybody seems to be doing animation since I mentioned it a year ago as well. Have you noticed that?
You're a trendsetter, Glenn.
I think you're just sensitive to it.
I'm just sensitive.
Just sensitive.
Doesn't mean I'm wrong though.
No.
Very true.
Glenn's proud of his humility.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, right.
I wear it.
I'm so humbled by how humble I am.
I wear it as a badge. Somebody's got to take credit. It might as well be me. Instead of the other guy that we know about.
Here's the horribly colored plastic plated page.
Oh yeah.
The break in the panel border is
Yeah.
And those colors horrible.
Oh yeah, they're very garish, horrible.
It's terrible, aren't they?
There.
See, I would never have thought that was red light coming from the helicraft.
Yeah, I thought that.
No.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you show us that explosion? That there it is, the Kavroom one. That's it.
Kavroom.
I mean, isn't that awful? The coloring.
Yeah, the coloring just kills it.
Just
yeah.
terrible,
Whereas the fight scene, the two panels above, I think, are marvelously colored.
Yeah.
Especially that second one there.
Yeah.
It hides a lot of the weakness there.
Yeah.
But back during this period, these were all recolored using that horrible plastic plate system.
Ooh, yeah.
that they used a lot of back during those days. These were probably off of the colors they did for the prestige format versions of the books that they did back in probably the 80s.
Yeah.
Long before modern printing technology. Hate to see what they do now with a typical Marvel colorist in Photoshop on this stuff.
Ooh.
I think they just massacre it.
I'm not a big fan of a lot of contemporary coloring. I'm sorry.
There we go. The tribunal.
Gosh.
That's a wood panel. Look at that. That is
Oh, my
totally
gosh.
wood.
Every page on this is just amazing. Look at that. That is all wood right there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Look at that. Look at the credits. I can't see the Stan Lee one. It's Steranko under top security, Rosen in front of the TV.
That's edited by Stan Lee behind locked doors.
Right.
Written and
Okay.
illustrated by Jim Steranko under top security and lettered by Sam Rosen in front of the TV.
Yes.
Some heavy white out here on the indicia for some reason.
Look at
Down
that.
below.
Look at the title, the tribunal. Look at that lovely thick line he's put on. He doesn't usually do that, does he?
On what? On the lettering?
Yeah, on that. Top
Yeah.
tribunal.
That looks like wood lettering, even.
That's
Yeah, it
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
That
It's
is
very
wonderful.
weird science.
Gorgeous.
Just look at the contrast. Even the space looks like wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could almost say it's a homage in a way.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
a
it
loving
very
one,
much is.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
I didn't know that those two guys were 25 feet tall, though. I don't think that perspective worked.
These guys do. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think it
part of
worked
what we were
very well.
discussing earlier, Glenn.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Fantastic drawing, though. Look at that.
All the additives in the
Yeah.
food.
That's right.
Shield.
Yeah.
Shield cafeteria.
Yeah.
So the other guys are just back from the quantum realm. That's all.
Right there.
That's all.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Look at the bottom left where it says featuring Hydra en masse. It should have a bracket there. It should say again.
Yeah. Like every 2 issues.
Didn't he get killed in, was it Strange Tales 141 when he got unmasked and those Hydra agents thought he was just some guy? You remember that in the first story?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? And they shot him. And he was talking, that was his daughter he was talking about in the previous issue, that brown woman. It was it called Arnold Brown, the head of Hydra, the first one?
I don't remember. It's
And
been
he
a long
got
time
shot.
since I've actually
Yeah,
read the story.
he was taking his mask off, and he had shoes with big heels on, to make him look tall and all that. And he'd taken his mask off to escape because Fury was coming, and 2 Hydra agents come into his office and say, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm the Imperial Hydra." And they said, "Oh yeah." So they shot him because they didn't recognize him.
That is
Whoops.
funny. Yeah. That's
Well,
great.
I'm looking at the comments here on the right-hand page, center row, far left. It looks like a color instruction, and obviously
Yeah.
Steranko has not started coloring this yet, I would think.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
probably still somebody in-house. Because otherwise, unless he wasn't sure he'd remember it later,
Yeah.
It's written in lines that they could trim out, apparently. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
dark here. Left side, a pale flesh color. Right side, light blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was Steranko, he was given instructions to the colorist.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he might not have known who it would be, because you'll notice at this time we're probably about almost a decade away from consistently giving colorist credits.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Another
That
zip
means-
screen right here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is fantastic without the colors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid to see it with colors, to be honest with you.
Well, you just saw it. And especially with the garish colors of the 80s. Go through and
Well, no, yeah, that last page. I don't. But
Well, that's the thing I found about most original art that I've seen. It looks as good, if not better, than the printed edition, and I'm talking
Yeah.
about adding color,
Always.
especially
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's awful.
yeah,
Even-
see, because I mean,
even on the
you lose-
recolor, they ignored his color instructions
Yeah.
completely.
Look at the guy where your thumb is on the silhouette guy. Did Vince Coletta ink that panel?
Could have.
You can still see the paint roller marks on it. Yeah.
It doesn't look bad here though. Looks
No,
great.
it looks.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Just the coloring on this is so garish. It detracts from the style. Look at that, especially here. Oh, let's do that in purples and blues. That'll be great.
Yeah, that's the thing about especially contemporary coloring. It's either murky browns and purples and blues, things like that, or it is their attempt to recreate 60s coloring with a limited palette, and it just doesn't work.
I think that's what they were trying to do here.
Yeah. And the thing is that we're using thicker paper back then, so it could absorb the all the inks better, and it looked better as a result. But now you use that thinner paper that can't absorb the ink quite as much, and the bad coloring stands out like a beacon.
Well, on that newsprint they used to print on had a high rag content. That would
Exactly.
absorb the ink.
Isn't that a color indication on the tribunal page along the side as well?
Here?
Yeah. Does that say color something at the bottom?
You're making me switch my glasses again. Here.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, folks. Color. Oh, I'm gonna have to get up and read it.
And you're making him stand up now.
I do have a
like you're
magnifier if
monster.
I have to. Yeah. That says cover. It's a name. Bronzed orange, yellow belts, boots, gray devices. Techno yellow, brown belts, light blue apparatus. Background new yellow also.
There you go. So he's got his eye on the color as well while he's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making notes.
Yeah. Well, like Hojo says in the comments, it's nowadays colorists overthink things. But back here, your artist was handling all the heavy lifting. He was handling all the shading, all the darks and everything. Colorists nowadays, sometimes they'll just have line work and let the colorist decide on how to put the shading in.
Yeah.
And you can't apply that type of coloring to this stuff at all.
No.
Well, he wouldn't trust the colorist, would he, to show his vision? And I think that's fair enough.
Go to AeroComics.store and get great comics. More to come soon. Marv, thank you. Always be promoting. Marv says, I'm excited about Dread. Former Big Two Not. Way behind on the comments. Sorry, folks. They never read comics or watched the original movies. Indiana Jones is the next victim. They're erasing him from history. It's the story. It's a rumor.
Yeah, actually, I think the guy who wrote it or whatever came out and said that wasn't true. That's not what they were planning on doing. So who knows?
They've had people come out of test screenings that have testified that they're not even solid on the ending yet themselves because they keep getting such bad reviews.
Ooh.
That movie's been sitting in stasis for like a year and a half now while they cut it and recut it and retest it and recut it. And,
it's all been bad fan fiction after Last Crusade anyway.
That's usually a bad
Amen,
sign.
brother. Amen.
Pretty much. Hello, Hojo. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Never mind. Probably would have been helpful. Read the description of the video. It's very early for me. Hojo, always happy to have you here, though, buddy. We're always archived over on the Indie Comics Network as well. Sorry to be so behind on these comments. Nice. At least they're not talking about the rabbit hole we went down earlier. Putting in 50 hours again this week. Paying artists isn't cheap. No, it's not, Hojo. At least I get to watch
artists.
New
Yes.
top
Thank you for
vendor.
paying
Yes,
artists.
thank you for
Amen.
paying artists. Absolutely. Been sanding by hand 2 balconies. Ugh, my hands are toast.
Wow.
Can't draw. Hopefully tomorrow. I'll be inking.
No.
Holy crap, Marv. Take care of yourself.
You better, got to do something more.
It's almost like modern colors overthink things nowadays. Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't think at all.
If I had that book,
Yeah.
it'd take me a year to look at it, the art properly. Absolutely. That's why it's taken us 2 episodes to get through it, Marvy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can stare at these pages for hours, and every page is pretty much a master class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, borders have been wiped out here in order for it to breathe. You can still see the black coming through. The whiteout wasn't very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
not like
Yeah.
the thick mud like there. Somebody's been watering down their whiteout.
I always like that though, where the word balloon is cut off on an open panel like that. I mean, there's something that gives it structure to something that's so open. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, that's a
It's
good
always
point.
read well to me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Walt Simonson's lettering. Well, he'll just smash it up against the side of a panel and wipe the entire line out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the lettering looks like it's wide open. Like right here, this line here would have been completely wiped out.
yeah.
That's kind of fun. It's great for style stuff, but I like the oddball stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and look at the bottom right-hand page, bottom center panel. There's no top line on her head.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
And it draws your eye to that, just like the open panel and the big close up in the center tier on the far left. Steranko knew how to get your eye moving around the page.
Yeah.
It's open there, so that might have there is a pencil line right there along there. So was it a conscious decision or a time?
I reckon it was a conscious decision.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a conscious decision.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like, gee, I've got 20 minutes. God, I'm getting tired. Oh, I just don't think I'll draw that line today.
Because all of these lines are
Yeah.
quick. Foop, 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 foop. Oh, forgot her head. Well, forget it. Looks good. Let it go.
There you go.
Ready for the next one?
Oh yeah.
But it does gives that curvature feel, like her hair's going on the other side of her head as well.
Yeah, it does.
Instead of being closed in. So.
And that lovely texture on it.
I just want to say it just gets crazier from here.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Wow. Every page, it's like
Zip
what?
screen. Yeah, everyone. That's why it took us. Like I said, it's taken us.
If you look at
to go through this.
if you look at that left-hand page with those 3 panels with Jasper Sitwell in, I immediately got the impression that there was going to be more dialogue because his head's dropping off the bottom of the panel.
Yeah. Yep.
Unless it's been changed.
Oh, bump! I bumped it with my head. Nope. That says Will o' the Wisp right there, though, for some reason. Oh, pointing up here.
Right.
Those are instructions to the letter. A lot of Ames lines right there.
There seems to be. I get the impression there's a lot of learning on the job with this book.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of experimentation.
Yeah.
Done. Look at this Zipatone silhouette here. Just amazing. And
that's gorgeous.
The fingers are here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're there in pencil.
Yeah.
And they come out underneath the Zipatone screen.
Mm-hmm.
Should probably see if that came through on their plates.
Do they not sell Zipatone anymore?
They do, but it's hard to find.
Yeah, it seems I've just never seen a digital replacement for it that looks as good as the.
They have them. You just have to know how to manipulate Clip Studio.
I think I've got a couple of sheets somewhere of it, but used it for a long, long time.
This entire zip screen has been replaced by a larger dot pattern.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right there.
And it's not as nice.
Nope,
it's
not nearly as nice. But it achieves the effect a little harsher. So.
Yeah.
And again, you've got that horrible garish color. They just went and slammed a bunch of red, right? And they're in yellow. Get it done fashion.
Yeah.
Make to dig up the original Strange Tales printings on this and see how badly the colorist botched the collection. Oxy bubble intact. Girl being placed aboard. There we are. All Kirby or all wood here.
Is that agent assuming her gender?
Yes.
That's profiling. That's sexist. I'm telling
And
you.
then the next panel. You taught me into it, old timer. Let's go.
Ageism! I swear, these people are monsters.
With 2 panels, you've got gender assumption and ageism.
Ageism
in 2 panels.
And this is coming from how old are the Howlers at this point in time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get off my finely detailed lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get off my Wally Wood lawn.
Yeah. Say get off my wood, but that would be
sexual harassment. Get my lawyer.
Thank goodness we have a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Colonel Fury, he couldn't have had a chance. No, maybe he escaped in time. Sure, just like you could escape an atom bomb. He's gone. Do you hear me? Nick Fury is dead.
Again?
It's a shame. The Highland Commandos didn't get more play than they did in the. Well, it was just the Captain America movie, right?
Yeah.
Well,
they didn't stick around in World War II for very long.
Right.
No.
So
I thought we saw some of them in one other film, but I can't remember which one. It could be because I haven't had enough coffee yet.
But the guy who plays the one in the hat, I can't remember what the
Dum Dum
character's
Dugan.
name is.
Dum Dum Dugan.
Yes. That was. I would have liked to have seen more of him. I would have liked to have them actually do a series with the Highland Commandos.
He was played by the I don't remember the actor's name, but he was the villain in season 3 of Arrow.
Yeah, he played.
He's a really big character actor. He gets all of the mean parts.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he's a super nice guy in real life, so he plays against type.
Nice.
On that, he's a very heavy, a very dedicated Christian.
He
refuses
Damian
to do a bedroom scene with another woman.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why he plays all these baddies. Oh yeah, he lost a couple of hard jobs that way.
Yeah.
Yep. But he's that good of an actor that they keep using him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a.
Really makes a great character actor though, with his white hair and.
Yeah, Neil McDowell. McDonough. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
McDonough.
Yeah.
He played Dugan.
He's fantastic.
He's fantastic. I would have liked it. We need Highland Commandos Disney Plus series or something.
Ooh yeah.
That would be awesome.
Wait. No, that would be fan service, and they're not going to do that. Heaven forbid they do something you want to watch.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I'm waiting to see if Secret Wars is going to be a train wreck, because the trailer looks really good with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. We'll see.
It looks really good. We'll see how, or Secret Invasion, I should say. Looks really good. There's plenty of room to screw up. There we are.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! But look at that.
And they'll use up every inch if they can.
There's Hydra Island. Looks like the bottled city of Kandor.
Base 1 to UFO.
Great. Look at that. Look at that Kirby crackle down here.
Yeah.
Just a little few circles. Who'd have thought about that in an ocean? Just great.
And I'm noticing how much dialogue there is.
Yeah.
This
Holy
is all
cats.
heavily aimed right here. And
Yeah.
some hardcore white out there. So whatever he was saying wasn't good enough. And to go through and change it.
It's like he got bit by somebody at Marvel and he turned into a Where Stan Lee at the full moon.
Yeah. All of this is redone.
Look at
Right
those
there.
hands. Look at those
And
hands
I can
going
see
there.
that. Yeah, here.
Bang.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Crack. Oh no, Fury's not dead. What a surprise.
I'm glad I was sitting down.
Gonna bust some heads. And then here, so much dialogue. All you see is an eye and a patch.
Yeah, but that's because Stan Lee's taking over that page. Look at all that information he's put in.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We already knew, didn't we, at the time? We didn't need to have a reference. At the
Something
bottom.
burned me on to Bronson a while back. Must have been a kind of sixth sense with an asterisk down here. Little details back to Nick Fury used his sixth sense 3 issues ago. Yeah. Clues deleted. Oh, detected and researched by old Sherlock Stan. Just so you understand that we aren't kidding. Great stuff. That's back when they had fun. Meanwhile, in the inner sanctum of Hydra's vast complex, I'm taking off my shirt. I'm Hydra.
I'm Brian K. Morris. I'm just getting dressed.
He's wearing pants. It can't be me.
There you go.
I tell you, but that the Hydra Island over here really kind of gets. There's definitely a contrast between where we were earlier on the hangar and the Wally Wood panel to this Hydra Island, and it's almost kind of a sea serpent or octopus feel to it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like some of the curves and everything in there, it has a very
different sense of architecture for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be glad you're not seeing it in color, because it is. I will show
I'm
you.
grateful
It is
for that. No,
it is horribly
My eyes!
It is horrid looking
colors.
Oh God!
Never. I would have gone. I see silver and blue and water, kind of never yellow.
And the colorist is going, you know what? Reds and yellows. There we are. That's great.
They didn't have good yellows back then. We'll show them. We got better production now.
Their colorist was really into yellow, gold, and red back then. And light blue. All of this back here is light blue.
Mm-hmm.
All of that detail lost. Look at that. That's got to be a couple of hours minimal. Working on that.
Oh yeah.
Such a Kirby pose here too, with those arms extended, the broad, dramatic pose. Little notes along the bottom: machinery blue, dash purple, yellow floor green, costume greens and yellows. TV screen in background is yellow.
OCD much, Jim?
Ow! It hurts. It hurts.
And it was pretty well followed by the colorist, except that I'm pretty sure the pants here are supposed to be green instead of yellow. But anyway, enough of picking on a colorist.
Yeah.
No, we're just starting.
So how? Okay. So the idea was a comic book monthly has to be a page a day. So if he was working on 1 page a day on this, that had to be what 12, 14-hour days almost, huh?
I would think, unless he had an assistant.
And he could have had an assistant, or he could just be. Well, I don't think he is incredibly fast, or he'd probably be a lot more prolific, wouldn't he?
Mm.
I would think so, because you notice when it went to a full-sized monthly, if I remember correctly, they had to put in a reprint on issue 4, or a fill-in story on issue 4.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was having a hard time
I'm
keeping
all
up.
for quality over quantity sometimes.
Yeah, here he's only doing a half a book a month too.
Yeah,
so
I just wonder how much.
is,
if you look at that, sorry. If you look at that Kirby pose again, that wood machinery, that one.
Yeah.
He wouldn't pencil in all those blacks.
No,
because if he's inking it, he knows where those blacks are going to go. So he wouldn't, so that would cut his time down.
Oh yeah. Like I said, there's probably a couple hours there.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh yeah, there's work to it, but
all
like
the contrasting and the negative space worked out there. Yeah, just amazing.
And also, he's working so far ahead of when the book is actually published and distributed that he may not see all that goes into it. You know, you look at artists like Alex Toth. I read interviews with him where he said he spent the first half of his life figuring out what to put into the drawing, then the last half of his career figuring out what to take out.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of artists simplify their art once they get into print, you know, when they see the limitations of what the Sparta printing process was.
True. But Toth was a heavy minimalist ever since he did any animation work.
Oh, that's true. Because
everything
had
to be striped down, and he repeatedly in his notes made mention that he was working, he was doing the work, knowing that the people doing the actual animation were, you know, one step up from monkeys.
Oh,
yeah,
that had absolutely no artistic ability whatsoever. So there's a great couple of pages in the InDesign book where he sent into Hanna-Barbera how people were supposed to sword fight during the Three Musketeer stuff, and they quickly just ignored it.
Of course.
See, it would be really interesting from an artist point of view to see let's just an example, these 2 pages penciled, bearing in mind that he may leave all the blacks out because we don't know. Because don't forget, when he's penciled it, he gives it into the office and then it gets sent to Sam Ross and it comes back to Steranko a few weeks later, lettered, and then he inks all the blacks in.
Yeah,
Right.
So it would be interesting to see how much you put in it for the editor, not to say, I can't see anything on the page, you know.
Yeah.
All those. Do you understand what I mean? Like, you know,
That makes sense.
So I think that's what would happen there. But I'd put money on that he puts all those blacks in when he gets it back, rather than in pencil, because that's doing it twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, Glenn. That really
Plus,
does.
Also, at this point, unlike at the start of the book, a lot of the graphite smudges are just gone.
Yeah.
There's no graphite smudges on this stuff at all.
Oh.
I mean, you see a little bit here. Oh, you can't see where I'm pointing.
No, I can. Yeah.
We can, yeah. Yep.
Down in here, there's some hard graphite,
Right.
but it's mainly out of the frame. It doesn't look like it's been erased either.
Just look at the left-hand page where it's flying over the Hydra Island, and Hydra Island has been whited out. What was it called before? Top panel, right at the top.
Yeah.
It says Hydra Island.
Let me get up there and take a look.
You know, I just wonder what it was called, because it's obviously changed its name. I can't imagine you spell Hydra Island wrong, would you?
You never know.
I can't see it, but it was a longer title. It starts way over here.
Yeah.
So it runs all the way across.
Hydra headquarters, maybe?
I reckon with it being Steranko, it'll be something like Death on Hydra Island or something like that.
It could be Hydra headquarters, and Stan just decided, screw the headquarters part. It's Hydra Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Like I said, it only gets better.
Uh-oh.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Hey, I want to draw everybody.
Yeah. But he does a great job.
Hear me, citizens of the world, and learn the penalty carried by the verdict of guilty.
I wonder if he was promoting himself there for to work on another book.
I don't know, but look at how Kirby, that Reed Richards and the Thing look just
and Thor.
And look how woody Daredevil is. It's
Yeah.
a wood Daredevil, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Very much a Kirby Spider-Man though. Look at that.
Not very good, is it?
Yeah. Very few people could get that right.
Look at the panel above that cityscape going back from those windows.
Oh man!
Ooh.
Honestly, that's whiteout.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh really?
Yeah, that is.
Little drops of white.
Do you know? I think Steranko knows something we don't, because again, he's drawn people 20 feet high next to the little guys at the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm also looking at that page on the right with all the tones. That takes a lot of confidence to think that's going to print well.
Yeah,
it's really organic, isn't it? That machine.
It is.
This is all hardcore whiteout right in here. These little explosions.
Nice.
Whiteout over top of Zipatone. I'd hate to see what this page looks like now.
Yeah.
Because you probably got all of these screens are curling up unless it's been well taken care of. That beautiful dot pattern.
That's
one great big long screen right there.
Yeah.
I get Geiger vibes from that machine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That organic thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know who else I see in here is Dave Cockrum.
Oh yeah.
Right
yeah.
I'm sure Cockrum saw this when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10, 20 years before he broke in. On that,
you can see
really, that looks like Cockrum to me so much.
You can see Steranko getting a bit more way out and confident in his art now, can't you?
Yeah.
More pop artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him a page to just wow, and that'll save me enough time to do lunch probably.
Yeah.
Even like in this black and white, you could feel the colors. You don't have to have the colors. That's what.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah.
It just conveys the feeling of how it looks.
That's part of the wonder of looking at these books. Is that
that's why the Essential books were so good, because we saw it in black and white for the first time.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes.
That's such a treat.
Background color pop orange. Oh, rep orange, red orange. No color in screened areas. Other spots, yellow, dash, red, dash, warm color.
Dare we look at the trade paperback on that one?
No! What are you doing, Brian?
I paid $20 for this kind of thing downtown, I'm telling you.
Not as bad as you think.
Okay.
Okay, that's a relief.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Not horrible, but
Not the best.
Everybody
but
here is colored right too. So.
Yeah.
okay, that's nice.
It's a good job they didn't get that right, isn't it? They got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of room to screw up there, but no, that's not as bad as I feared. I was especially thinking that the zipatones would have come out a little bit more murky.
They've gone through and rescreened a lot of this too, because that's a different dot pattern on here than what it is up there. That's a darker pattern.
That guy bottom left looks like the Hulk. Bottom left on the pre. Yeah, the green guy with that haircut.
Yeah.
Green eyes, green black hair. Is that hair?
I think
looks
so,
like a star field.
City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a city.
It does. I see that now. See that?
Yeah.
The negative space is a city. Yeah.
That's clever.
No white out here on this panel border though. It's just white open. White, naturally wide open. A lot of dirt.
That one.
A lot of dirt gathered on this. There's a lot of love on this page.
I wonder where they're scanning this artwork from, because I'm sure I heard Steranko had all his artwork.
I don't know.
Part of his contract. Unprecedented. He demanded his artwork back and got it, as far as I know. So they must have got.
He might have got this out to archive it.
Well,
or they might have borrowed it.
I would say he probably let him scan, let them scan it, but he probably owns it.
Makes sense.
And I hate to say it, but he was pressing a deadline.
Yeah.
Steranko was, because the next 2 pages are splash pages. But look at this.
Oh, look
at that.
What?
2-page spread.
I remember that one first time around.
Yes.
Look at that. Baron Strucker.
Yeah, but he put every bit as much work into it.
All of these people are inked in. Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's another one that got jilted. It's Baron Strucker.
Yeah.
It's like it runs like 24, doesn't it? When he's fighting the guys, when Keith is fighting who he thinks is the boss of the bad guys, then he gets killed, and then there's somebody above him. In Sheild, it's like that Arnold Brown guy, then it's that other guy who was on before, and now it's Strucker, and then it's with that Madam Hydra, and it keeps going up all the time.
It's like a video game, right?
Yeah.
They're leveling up.
Yeah.
Video games before video games.
Right. Yeah.
Look at that Wally Wood machinery above his head, above Fury's head. That circle. That's really wood, isn't it? It's fantastic, isn't it?
And you look at the complexity of that machinery, and then the relative simplicity of the Fury and Strucker figures.
Yeah. Can you imagine having that framed on the wall?
Oh yeah, so much so. Nice, beautiful, big zip screen here, but that's very Thunder Agents right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Click. One thing to point out: the body is at an angle, but his belt buckle is straight up and down.
You're right.
That's because he drew it the next day.
That's just like the first appearance of Galactus. My name is Galactus. I have a big G on my chest.
Yeah.
Even though I've been,
it stands for hope.
Yeah, stands for hope.
It's actually Galactus language for planet eater.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I'm no help.
Just to bring the point home, there's a little note here along the bottom. I don't think you can see it. I have to scoot it back a little. It says, Fury strapped to waist.
Okay.
In case you couldn't see it.
I guess maybe because he didn't want you to confuse that strap with the belt.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Could be. I'm sure you're right. Very curvy hand there.
Isn't that lettering fantastic as well? The size of it. Look at that Baron Strucker lettering there.
Baron Strucker.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm also looking at the background Hydra figures. Notice there's not a repeated pose.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, everything's all directly inked.
Yeah,
right on there. And then he knew there was going to be a heavy dialogue. This was going to be a couple of heavily dialogue pages because he left this just incredibly simplistic. The ceiling here.
That's smart.
Just large lines. There, you put the lettering up there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he just went in afterwards with it. Could be a magic marker.
Yeah.
Well, probably wasn't, though. I'm sure he used ink.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's great, isn't it?
Just beautiful, yeah. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. Next, Showdown. We're going to draw cards. Crisis. A lot of whiteout right there.
Kirby Crackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. With lines. It's Kirby Crackle and lines.
Kirby with wood.
Yeah.
Pardon me, with Steranko. Obvious. Working there.
Yes.
And Sam Rosen's done the lettering matching the crackle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
It is.
Really
I'm
something,
looking
isn't it?
I'm looking at the credits. Stan Lee, the Overlord, Steranko, the Overseer, and Sam Rosen, the Overworked.
Yeah. Look at that zipper tone where Nicky's in the
Probably.
machine as well.
Yeah.
So true. Yep.
Bit dodgy, that, isn't it?
Yeah. See that hand?
Yeah.
Well, I'm also looking at the foreground figures. You see Strucker and the Hydra agent,
No
with
line.
very bold, solid blacks, and
Yeah.
in the middle is the girl, and all these delicate line work, particularly on the hair.
A lot of reworking on that eye
Oh yeah, yeah.
to get it right.
Yeah, well, that,
Yep.
yeah, that's
Great clenched fist there. Just excellent. Look at them folds.
It's real Kirby layout, isn't it? The way that the Strucker's looking at you and telling the reader what's going on,
Definitely, taking from the best.
Oh yeah. Don't ask, just buy it.
Exactly.
Can I just offer something here? See that Kirby Crackle? I've said this before. People when they're drawing, I've seen a lot of people draw Kirby Crackle and they use one of them circle guides. The secret to Kirby Crackle is not to use a circle guide.
Right.
If you look at that, and if you look at any Kirby, it's not done with a circle guide. It's freehand.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people were. I was talking about this one so much so, but that's not how real life works. There's a fuss around real life, I guess, and those crackles, the fact that they're not uniform is what gives it the pop that it gives it.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why John Buscema said he liked drawing Conan, because he didn't have to do perfectly straight lines or get out the drafting material the way that more contemporary strips would need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He could just basically freehand everything.
Yeah.
Well, look at your machinery. There probably maybe some ruler here and there, but I bet you those short lines are free-handed.
Yeah.
I would imagine
probably why.
he straight ruled a lot of this down here real quick.
Yeah, I think he'd use a brush and a ruler for those.
Yeah.
Keep it organic.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to be perfect.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
This is another thing about perspective with buildings. People make the mistake of doing a perfect building line work rather than making it a bit crooked, a bit sticking at the door, coming away from the
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
And they make a mistake by using the ruler. So you can do the guides for your ruler, but get freehand on it, and it works much better.
Absolutely. Put some breaks in those lines. Put some breaks in those lines. You don't have to have a line across. I see there was something I saw the other day. It was a good building, but because it was so uniform and so strict to the line that it took away from the life. The life.
That's
exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at that. Is that a Kirby drawing there? That guy.
Is that not an obvious Kirby
kidding.
drawing there?
He's gone. Fury's escape.
Look at the veins in the eyes, man. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
God.
He's upset, isn't he?
But again, it's like a lightning flash as well.
Yeah.
It carries all the way through.
Yeah. It looks like Strucker's about to have a stroke.
And Steranko does. He does what Kirby does. Look at that rifle that guy's got above him. He never draws the same weapon twice. Even in Howling Commandos, when it's a set Thompson submachine gun, and they've all got one. They're all different.
Yeah. Well, now I'm captivated by the drool in Strucker's mouth in panel 3 there.
Yeah.
That's very Graham Angles there, from the
He even
EC
has
days.
the bumps on the tongue. Look at the bumps.
Yeah.
On the tongue.
Oh, God, see, you're right.
The dimension in the teeth. Just a quick brush. all the way across.
I can't
Beautiful.
stop looking at it.
No,
It's
Look
just
at
this
that.
intensity. Just
Yes.
it's like,
The panel to the left with the island floating in the sea. How good is that? It's like it's just popped up and it's just been thrashed about by the waves. But
You can almost hear the waves hitting it.
yeah,
Yeah, very evocative.
that's brilliant. Furies. That should be a T-shirt, shouldn't it? Furies escaped.
yeah. That looks like the cover for Scott McCloud's Destroy.
Yes, it does.
If you look at the panel,
Destroy.
if you look at the panel above again with the guy with the rifle, the guys in the little guys in the sections, they're all different again, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep. All individual.
That is such talent there.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Time, patience.
So what do you think he
talent.
does there? He just kind of draws the outline and uses the shade in the put the blacks in to kind of flesh them out.
I think so. Yeah.
That would make sense.
And he's put the black behind them to throw them forward as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. That panel there, Furies escaped. That should be a T-shirt. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Get a bit of a Loki vibe from it as well. With that long nose that Kirby always used to draw with Loki.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Oh. Then as all eyes focus on the fantastic Tron platform, a gasp of astonishment sweeps over the council room, for they see nothing. He's gone. Furies escaped.
Get off my lawn.
Exactly. Get off my lawn.
Can this danger become any more intense? Can the feeling become even more overwhelming? Can this prose get more purple?
Yeah. You better believe it, even if you missed our last issue. Turn, Stan.
Thanks for the affirmation, Stan.
Wow.
Stan. That's great, isn't it? Stanley must have had a real laugh when he got these pages.
Amazing stuff.
I'm gonna tell you, when Stan gets these pages and they're just, they're raw and the blacks and whites that had as much energy as he had, I'm sure that really brought his writing to life.
Yeah.
Well, sure also at this point, he's adding all this stuff last minute. This is probably all done on the last read through before it goes to the printer.
I'm just cynical. I just think he's claiming it.
Yeah, that could be too. Well, and also the thing is, you can look at the art here and you can tell pretty much what's going on.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like watching a TV with the sound off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that. That could be Medusa, that girl at the bottom left with all that stuff going on.
Yeah, really.
Look at that. It's fantastic, isn't it? That's something out of Thor. It's the kind of thing that Kirby had drawn his women in Thor, isn't it?
Yeah.
With like a hat,
Well, I'm also looking at that last panel with Jasper Sitwell. That's a very delicately rendered panel there.
A lot of brush.
It's definitely contrasted to everything else on the page.
Yeah.
There's a softness to it. Yeah.
Well, that again, does it. The black background on that pops that out too.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like that hard line around the hair.
Yeah,
it's not there. So
if you put the panel above where Sitwell is in the top right hand panel, that one. If you put Saturday Night Fever soundtrack to it, it'd work.
Looks like he's rocking and rolling. Yeah,
staying alive. It'd work, wouldn't it? It's wonderful, isn't it?
Well, just that squat and stretch right there. I mean, he's hitting it hard, man. He's that twist.
Feet on the floor.
Yeah,
real worm's eye view there.
As your microphone goes, see?
Boom.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh my! Oh
see,
my!
That one in the center panel there, he didn't put the blacks in, did he?
Here.
But isn't that almost refreshing after all the line work?
It was Friday night, 6 o'clock, and he was going out. Steranko. He'd had enough. I've had enough of this stuff. That'll do. But yeah, it does work, doesn't it?
But yeah, because I mean, that might very well be a conscious decision just to be able to make Nick pop.
Yeah.
Just like this here does that. The background here, just line work, and the pants are heavily laden. A lot of blacks working there, just to make.
I tell you what, do you remember a while back when Walt Simonson did? And was it Walt Simon did an entire issue in full page panels.
Yes.
Steranko could do that, couldn't he?
Easily.
Imagine Sheild.
Yeah.
This particular issue, full pages like that. It would be absolutely amazing.
Well, if you ever see his Chandler book, that's 2-3 panels, vertical panels on a page with a prose text underneath.
Right.
It's just beautiful. A lot of that stuff's amazing. Look at this angle here.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful angle.
That's amazing.
And I'm looking at the dialogue. He's managed to preserve Fury's imperfect English. Dropping G's and everything. Everybody has their own voice in this. I don't think Steranko gets enough credit. We all know he's a genius at art and making some excellent choices at it, but I don't think he gets enough love for his writing.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at that bottom left there. It says, "Quickly, before I lose my temper."
You know what Strucker's secret is? He's always angry.
Always mad.
Yeah.
It's just great, isn't it?
It is.
Look at that. The way he's knocking those guys out of the way while he shoots the others. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, and I find myself also trying to figure out, okay, that's up. No, wait a second. Fury is like, wait a minute. It's like it almost gives you a sense of vertigo. It's almost like, Kirby laid this page out. Okay, now you, that new kid, MC Escher, come in and do this one.
That's right. It exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, because who would dare draw the underneath of the steps? Going down like that.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It is.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, don't try to figure the angle on this because you're looking there, looking up. Yeah.
And it works.
Just
does.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Crack.
And again, this goes back. First thing that I think of when I see that page is that 9-panel grid of Captain America fighting the Troc.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
Just fight, flip. Yeah.
One of us is going to survive this fight and turn the page, and it won't be me.
Yeah. Another great angle. Run along the Shakum.
Yeah.
Shakum.
Yeah. Look at the way he's coming onto the panel on that bottom panel there. And it's just fantastic, isn't it?
Feet on the floor again. Yeah.
And he's taken up half the panel.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely incredible. And that Wallywood machinery again, framing him.
Forward dramatic move,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he's going to say a lot of stuff, put the balloon right between his legs.
Yeah.
There's empty space right there.
Is that a thought balloon, or are you glad to see me?
Yeah. Look at that Hydra guy there making the mistake that all the people who attack Bruce Lee make, attacking one at a time. I always think that Bruce Lee was standing there and 58 people jumped on him. I don't think he'd have a chance. But they all go at him one at a time.
Even better, they all got guns. 30 feet away, kapow, kapow, kapow.
Yeah, let's just
dodge this,
him.
Nick.
Yeah. Good. Oof. Crunch.
And again, there's that negative white space just used there. It doesn't mean anything. Just the guys running at him, all of the detail of the machinery up on top.
All that machinery, it pushes your eye down to the Hydra guys. It does. It's wonderful. It's just
there. It's just amazing. And then, of course, over here, screw the background. That's not what we're here for.
You don't need it, do you?
We're here to watch Fury flip these Hydra guys all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't even getting winded.
Yeah.
Watch close now, Charlie. I love the way they have to talk while they're fighting like Spider-Man does all the time.
How come you ain't smiling? Am I using the wrong mouth?
Oh, dear.
Okay, I've got a question for everyone here.
I'm glad you're the 8th Hydra bozo already, Mac. I ain't that. It ain't that I'm tired. I just bore easy.
The stuff in the bottom right-hand page, bottom tier, left-hand panel, where the right-hand page, Randy, right where your hand is, where Fury is going oof.
Yep.
What are those things called on the outside? Those little 3-figure force line. What do you call those?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some technical term for them.
Yeah, because I'm sure you can get them like in computer lettering now.
Oh yeah.
But it's like I don't have that on my word processor, so
I don't know what you would call that.
I was just curious if you guys knew, because
like a stretch colon.
Yeah, well, that sounds if you have one of those, consult a physician immediately. But my doctor warned me about that thing. But yeah, I just wondered if there is a name for it, because I genuinely do not know. So.
Yeah,
I got a book, I think, by Chris Brown.
Okay.
On cartooning that lists all of these little icons. I'll have to see if I can find it and tell you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious about that.
So-called official name for them are.
Well,
they were just there.
I would think anyone knows.
On Whizbang, that's shift parentheses in order to get those.
Ah, okay.
Off of the True Tech font. Oh, here we go. Boom. Now we get into photorealism with some drawing worked over.
I don't think that works at all.
Yeah.
That background. That's not good.
Was that part of the... Yeah, it is part of the story. Okay.
That is part of the story. They've let loose a crazy bomb, apparently.
Yeah.
Has Steranko drawn that?
This is on Sunday morning after Steranko left early on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They had enough sense to leave it alone. But there's also a dialogue panel up top here that's not there.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not impressed with that at all.
They're like, yeah, we got to explain this somehow.
Yeah,
yeah, because on its own, that's the one page on here that really, to me, doesn't move the story forward.
Well, not all of the photorealism stuff worked because they were guessing what it was going to look like or using their best judgment once it was shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then with a heinous, something, man, this is done in red and it's like next to impossible to read. That panel. Then, with the heinous hordes of Hydra nearly upon him, Fury hurls one of Shield's most potent weapons toward the crushing antagonist, the fantastic hallucination cube. And as it bursts on impact, the tiny capsule discharges an incredibly potent, mind-bending vapor, so powerful that each man within the proximity conjures from out of his own subconscious ghastly apparitions of the things he fears most. Then, from the ebony blackness of a state of mindlessness, unbelievable forms take shape and whirl about, striking sheer terror into the hearts of those who fall victim to their own mad campaign of evil and hatred. The blood on the hands of Hydra has returned to haunt those who have served it. Whew, that was probably written by Stan.
Wow.
Yeah. Just before Fury shoots them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That hallucination cube, and that takes
Here's your
place
chance
all
to think
up
about
here
your life, fellas.
where all this wonderful rubber cement wear out is at,
Yeah.
Oof.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah,
and then we're back. And then we're back to greatness here. Look at that.
Yes.
That's like Kirby. Get it done. Boom. Done.
I wonder if this issue coincided with Fury in the FF when he has that hand that changes its hand. So when he's holding that hand and it's like it punches someone, and it's a right hand, and then it's a left hand in the next panel. Have you seen that? In the
Oh yeah,
panel? I wonder if that was happening around the same time, and he saw that and got the same claw from it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my physician uses that same claw on me for my annual physical.
That's why I like small Asian female doctors.
Here we go.
And again, I think this is this is a little bit more rushed looking to me, and not that it's bad stuff; it's phenomenal stuff.
Yeah,
but 2 pages of fight scene with some beautiful line work, negative space work there.
Yeah, you know that right-hand page looks like to me is early Barry Smith.
Yeah.
And then here, this is solid Kirby. Look at how stretched that arm is.
Yeah, it's just imitating Kirby, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And again on the left-hand page, second panel, they're on the panel border again, standing on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He does that, and the next one as well. He does that
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Just flat on. But that's a great worm's eye view, though.
Yeah,
that is.
Look at that line work on the middle left-hand page, middle section, the last panel on the 4. That hand, fantastic. That.
Yeah,
it is.
Kazak. I tell you what, they get some lumps knocked out of them. These guys, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Just keep getting up.
That's part of the fun of the show, though, or part of the fun of the strip. Right there again. That's quick. That looks almost pasted on over top of a Kirby figure there.
It does.
Silhouette done really quick. You know, just fill in black space, throw some lines around it.
That head should be further up, shouldn't it?
Yeah. This might have been done on a hard deadline.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. He spent so much time on the previous pages that it got to a point where it had
very
to go.
likely. Yep.
That makes sense.
Hence why they're all like 4-panel pages and big.
Yeah, he's getting through it, isn't he?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
And then boom.
Ooh.
Now we have the final encounter until the next one.
Look at that credit there. MGM wants them. MGM needs them. MGM can have them. Sign Warner Brothers.
That's pathetic.
Yeah.
What's it saying there? Sam Rosen, I'd lettered and lost the script.
Yeah. Oscar-winning Superstar Spectacular by Stan Lee. He edited the script. Jim Steranko, he wrote and drew the script. Stan Lee, he lettered and lost the script. MGM wants him. MGM needs him. MGM can have him. Signed Warner Brothers. Another classic wood here.
Yeah.
Thunder Agents.
That's a fantastic page, isn't it? Everything about that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, is there?
That's one of those pages that comes up at a heritage auction that somebody sends their kids through college on.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes.
Right there.
Wonderful, isn't it?
That is pure Steranko right there.
But look, I guess it's Stan Lee again, editor. If you look at the credit box, he's changed Sam Rosen's little quip.
Oh, yeah, he has. Yep. or maybe Sam changed it at the last
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's going to press. Nobody's going to see this.
Yeah, screw you, Lee. I'm changing this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic,
classic,
isn't it?
Look at that classic lettering.
Yeah. You could just look at that
all
all
by
day,
hand. Yes, you could.
Now here we go. This is going to date this. I'm looking at the indicia.
Yeah, I did.
The subscription rate $1.75 for a full year.
Yep.
If you look at it, it's July '67 publication. That means it was drawn in late '66.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Price 12 cents a copy.
Yeah.
You know, you tell that to comic fans today. It's like people like Randy and myself used to pay like 10 and 12 cents for a comic, and they look at you like you need subtitles.
Oh, speak for yourself. I was 15 cents. Anyway.
Okay. I'm calling my lawyer, Randy.
Call it whatever you have to.
He says I'm old too, so.
As far as I can remember, that my first indication of the amount of work that went into producing these things was when do you remember that Iron Man? I think it was Iron Man when Kirby stepped in over the weekend when Gene Colan was ill.
Yes.
And did 7 pages over the weekend, and then I read that they would produce 6 months ahead, and I thought, well, how much time? Why didn't just wait for Gene Colan to get better? And then obviously I realised later that there's a lot more work to be done just than drawing the damn thing and sending it in. You know,
and everybody's on a print deadline. You got to get this done, get it out to print.
Yeah, you've got to schedule it, you've got to colour it, you've got to edit it and make the changes. Then I realised why that was such a big deal that Gene Colan had been ill and Kirby stepped in. You know,
well, you had to keep those deadlines, or you got a heavy fine.
Well, and also, a lot of these guys probably had some wiggle room built into the schedule. I did an article for back issue magazine one time, and I called the editor, Michael Urey, and said, I need like another few more days because I'm trying to nail this one interview, and I'll incorporate it to round things out. And he goes, I'll take another 3 months. I'm like,
wow.
what?
What?
And he goes, no. The first book I ever edited for Comico had Adam Hughes as the artist. There are deadlines, and there are deadlines.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I understand now. Thanks.
But on this, also, something that we have to keep in mind is everything was mailed out to people.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's true. This is before FedEx.
These are all in boxes, pretty much shipped out to the, there was a box from Steranko with the pencils shipped to the office, from the office to Rosen, from Rosen back to the office, from the office back to Jim, from Jim back to the office.
Yeah,
even if he could pick them up,
it's probably a week in transit, isn't it?
At least most of the time was
If you look
spent in the service of the post office.
Yeah, I'm not sure he lived in the New York area at the time.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
If you look at the left-hand page, top panel, it's the way he's throwing him up, in my view. But then again, when I tilt my head, he's throwing him down.
Yeah, you're right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good observation.
He's throwing him off the.
But if you look at it straight on, it looks like he's throwing him up the machinery. And tilt your head to Strucker's vantage point, he's throwing him down. I mean, how good is that? You've got two different directions in the same drawing.
And at the time, Steranko probably wasn't even thinking in that direction.
That's
he was
right.
Thinking about what looks cool, putting him over here. He's got to be thrown this way.
Yeah.
In order to instruct the reader to read from left to right.
That machinery is not very strong, though, is it? If the body hits it, it all scrunches up.
Zipatone shadow here.
Well, look at how he's slowing time down in that tier.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side, really controlling how the pacing of the story here is. Because you start out with slam bang action, you end that page with slam bang action, and then that middle tier is that kind of like, okay, Nick hit his head, things are moving slowly, the menace is building. That's just classic.
He's recovering.
Manipulation of time.
He's recovering, but the menace is coming on him.
Yeah.
And if you look at the rendering in the art, look at that bottom thrack where he's whacking him on the back of the head.
Yeah.
Look at how beautiful look at how beautiful the line work is, and that hand is a lot better than he's been drawing in the previous ones.
Yeah.
And the face of Fury looks more handsome than he normally does in a Steranko thing.
Right.
And on the other page, the middle panel where he's tripping him up, look at that lovely line work. It's really nice and confident line.
And oddly, no nipples.
Yeah.
I don't think I've noticed that men didn't have nipples in these books until Barry Smith started drawing Conan.
Just didn't need to put them in,
That's because he's a live model decoy. You see, he got killed in Strange Tales 138 Fury. I don't know whether you know that. He's a live model decoy now.
That makes sense because I don't see a navel on Fury.
Look at that panel, though. That is Steranko right there.
Pure Steranko.
That is just amazing. Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm looking at that middle panel and that foreshortening there. The way it looks like that hand's coming out at you while he's just slinging him around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have your gun, but your gun is useless to me. Clink.
That's a real Ben Grimm thing, isn't it? That's the kind of thing he does.
But I'll get tripped by a simple judo.
Yeah, right.
Judo toss. Now I'll jump on you. Crunch.
Just that arm just swings right around there and just gets it.
Again, more fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence in this line work now.
Yeah, it is.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that bash. Right, not a good sound effect though, that one, is it? Bash.
Yeah.
Bash.
Should have been a thwack. Again, that machinery is not very strong, is it? When somebody hits it, it all crumbles. Or is that the power of the bash?
Power of the
you
bash.
saw how many pieces it is. So I mean,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Great. Kneel into the box here, and the outline, the panel border has been removed here. So it was a last minute thought to open up that panel. But then, of course, yow! The whole floor's charged, giving me a super hot foot.
Wow.
And then look at that angle.
It
That's
leaves
just
up,
beautiful.
yeah.
A lot of reworking done here. A lot of grayed out.
It always used to amuse me when I was a kid the way that these guys ended up in a slugfest when they'd just taken the power off the Silver Surfer, and Doctor Doom wants to beat Ben with his fist, so there's a fight. You know what I mean? He could just zap him and get rid of him. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Look at that zip at that bottom panel on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it goes no on the other side.
Over here.
Yeah. See how that motion line's right above his head. It kind of comes up, is it? And then kind of does a
Right here.
curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
This-
reminds me of how Kirby drew the Omega wave from
that's
Dark
right,
Side.
Yeah.
I was going to say this looks like a panel of Karnak from the Inhumans.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It does. Yes.
Smacking
right.
something. Yeah.
You're right.
With it, only with a straight karate chop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crackoom.
That's what that looks like. Then again, what a great panel. Just great. Keep that hand away from me. The Kirby crackle on it. I haven't been keeping track of time. What time is it?
140.
It's 1:40. Yeah.
Time flies when we're having fun.
Ooh, that's 6:45. Wow. And again, we hardly got anywhere in this book. I guess we were talking rabbit holes.
Well, we should have part 3.
We should be
We'll
able to
have
finish the
part 3.
story.
Somebody mentioned that we were going to be on part 37 soon. Yeah.
Well,
That might
don't-
actually happen with this book.
I don't have a problem with that.
There's a lot to
No,
unpack.
I don't either. Not with stuff this great. You know, look at that. Look at that whole page there.
That's
It's
what I
just
was looking
amazing.
at.
And I'm
That's
a
a
little.
whole page.
Screw proper anatomy. He's leaping with his shoulders are twisted. None of his arms are right. This arm's back. This arm's forward and crooked out to this. This is a Frank Robbins anatomy working right there.
There you go. There you go.
And then all of these guys down here reacting like, "Oh no!"
That's
Just
beautiful.
amazing stuff. And look at the wrinkles on this. The command of the folds.
That's lovely.
Just amazing.
See, that's the one thing people have trouble with in comics is drawing fabric.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and this looks to me like some sort of like polyester, silky kind of thing. You know, it's got genuine texture as opposed to something, say, more cotton-like.
Yep. Yeah.
It looks, the drawing looks very flat as well, doesn't it, on the Hydra agents?
A little bit,
like,
yeah.
like the line that goes straight to the edge, it should curve round, shouldn't it? It doesn't look like it's round like the solid.
And that might be to kind of show that fascist, strict Nazi feel. You know, the kind of like these guys are rigid,
regimented miter.
Look at the previous page, the bottom panel where he's looking round at the guns.
I was about to say that. I love that panel.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
That's a gorgeous panel.
Straight up cartoon effect. Here we've got all of
Yeah.
these guns. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, you've got guns. Well,
Do you know,
I guess I'll leap.
I'll tell you something. Sorry, Brian. Something I think I've noticed with his progression. Like all artists, we all do this. He's turning into Steranko, Nick Fury, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
His
That's a
face,
good
his,
point.
all that hair, and all that. Because when you look at Kirby stuff, when you look at Reed Richards and Nick Fury, it's all Kirby, isn't it?
Exactly. But that's we talk about I try to, when I talk to writers of comics, I always talk about leaving like a mini cliffhanger, something to make you turn to the next page. That bottom right panel on the left hand page, if that doesn't make you turn the page, then you shouldn't be reading comics. And I also love that first panel, the upper left on the left hand page. You could tell Fury's running on fumes.
Yeah.
That beautiful eye there, that just says everything.
Yep.
I think it's interesting watching this progression that he uses his belt to slit the
Yeah.
glove.
Yeah.
That's his bat belt.
Like,
Yes.
damn it, Fury! Where were you during Infinity War?
This face here could have been pasted on.
Yeah.
And again, like we've been saying, this guy Strucker with this Satan claw thing is the most powerful being on the earth at the moment, and he's lost it with a belt.
Yeah.
With a belt, yes. But Well, that's
Hey,
just how good Fury is. That's all. That's a testament to
David took down Goliath with just a rock. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well,
There you
yeah,
go.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. That must have been Strucker's great-great-granddad Goliath.
He was taller.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Look at those bullets going in that water at the top left.
Oh,
Yeah, just beautiful. This whole page
That's
again.
fantastic, isn't it? Thaka. It's fantastic, isn't it? And they still don't get it. Stop
It
firing!
And why am I thinking right now? Thaka Khan. I wouldn't let him. I am so brain bruised.
You don't get into a straight-on shot until you've got both of the characters looking at each other in the face.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The next one should be them kissing, shouldn't it?
Not with the way those mouths are turned down, and that, you know.
There is the comics code to consider as well.
That too,
Well, I'm sure you can kiss.
yeah, beautiful.
You're assuming genders again, Brian.
I know, there I go again. I'm so old, I'm so elderly. Good God.
That top there, that Thaka where they're all firing down, is absolutely superb on the left-hand page at the top.
It really
yeah,
is.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolute, and those bullets going through that water, that's fantastic.
That's sweet.
Oh,
And wow,
You realize this whole thing up to now has been just one long fight scene.
Yeah.
yes.
Plot,
somehow-
what the hell's that?
Somehow Fury managed to get into a Hydra outfit,
yeah, how's he done that? I think they've lost the
And then
page,
he-
haven't they?
Bought him dinner first.
disguises himself as Strucker here at the end because they have to grab him and tear the mask off his face.
It's him. Your
Your
time has
time
finally run out. I don't know how many
Finally
times
run
that's
out.
You know how many times they've said that?
Yeah, really.
Like, just look, just before you turn, look at that left on to the left of there. That head's too small. That one, yeah.
Here,
It's,
yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
it's been stuck
Yeah.
on again.
yeah, it does. Drawn quickly, probably.
I wouldn't
pressing
be
a
surprised if
deadline.
it was almost a profile head.
Yes.
It didn't work out, and he had to do something real
Redraw it.
quick.
Or
Yeah.
paste over
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
could have been. But then again, look at the majestic look here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fantastic, isn't it?
I am the villain. I am surveying all of my nasty villainy.
Watch me pose.
Continued after next. time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how, on the right-hand page, that's how they knew it was Fury. His head was too slender.
That could
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. There you go.
be. Oh man, look at that.
Look at that.
Marvel, I'm ready to edit your comics. Call me.
This is a white dot screen. In order to drop that down over top of solid black, in order to make Fury's figure pop.
Yeah, and I notice how they I think very good choice to remove some of the solid lines in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's enveloped, pulling himself out of the energy.
Yeah.
Look at that panel above it to the right, though. Looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Where it's Crash.
Yeah.
He's got no chest.
Well, look at that. His head is twice as big as what it should be.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my hand.
Yeah. Silence Dolt. I'm
Well, it does kind of
admiring
look
my
like he's
hand.
missing half of his back.
It's great.
Like you
Yeah.
see one shoulder blade, and the other shoulder blade is just non-existent.
Yeah.
Little do they know, I'm still Nick Fury in disguise. Again, everybody's got the little rubber masks that they keep pulling off of their head.
They
They
have
all turn out
a
to be
ready
Nick Fury.
supply in the back pocket.
Yeah. And again, here, there is light, there's solids. Here,
Very
just
old.
like the city that we looked at earlier. And
Yeah.
then here, there's a touch of white screen right there.
Very organic, isn't it?
It is.
Looks
Yes.
very organic. I just love that perspective on that ship, too. It's just amazing.
That's a nice angle.
He does draw the Hydra agents flat, though, doesn't he? Look at those guys at the bottom again
Yeah.
with the line
Yeah.
around. They're
Yeah,
very
they're-
flat.
They're looking down at something,
They're still
looking down
very
into the
flat.
panel border. Hey, look at that guy reading us on their good
I mean, they don't have personality in that sense. You know, I think that's what
Yeah.
he's trying to convey.
That
Yeah.
could be.
Is they kind of flat characters.
Well, and it also reminds me of like when you draw, you have your drawing board at an angle. And then you try drawing like directly onto a flat surface.
Yeah.
That's what it just kind of reminds me of it. Like he took the art boards off of his drawing board and put them on his kitchen tables, maybe drawing while he was eating dinner or something.
Maybe. And again, this panel here is pure Steranko. Look at that line
Yeah.
weight. Just
Ooh, yeah.
beautifully
Yeah.
done. even though that's a straight profile, just gorgeous. And then here, there's a skull face right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the teeth and everything. Or observe the object on the table before us. Does it not look exactly like? Yes, it does rather resemble it, of course. But of course, it couldn't be Gak. And again, a lot of hard white out here. Could it? Could it? Yeah, Gak.
Yeah, we just leave those things lying around.
Yeah.
Pick up the spare death spore on your way out.
Yeah.
I love that top panel. That's beautiful.
It's the end of Hydra forever.
Yeah.
Every James Bond, every secret agent story ends like this, where the hero and the girl are flying away from the danger island that's blowing up.
Those waves, is it Hakusai, that Japanese guy who draws waves like that? It's called Hakusai.
Very much so, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Little did they know I left a bomb on the table.
Guess I showed them.
Well, see you. Time for lunch. Yeah. We don't have to go back to headquarters right away, sweetheart. This is spy school. Yeah. I still don't have a shirt on.
It's real Bond, isn't it, though?
It is. True.
Yeah.
True Bond. Right there.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Right next to the Shizuki.
And Captain America keeps appearing on these coloured splash pages, but he's not appeared yet.
He does, not yet.
Yeah, it's Jim. This is Jim's hint saying, "I want to draw Captain America."
I think
we still have about a third of this book left to go.
I think you should leave it there and do part 3.
We need to leave it here. That's the thing. It's been 2 hours.
Right.
And how many? We got through 2 issues, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 parts. Yeah.
3 parts. Okay.
We've got to do this next week again.
We're going to do this next week again.
It's fantastic.
We don't give up.
Trilogy. That's what it is.
That'll make Russ happy.
There you go.
He'll be able to come in and talk about this as well. I'm not even going to turn the page. We're just going to mark it there, and that'll be it.
Yeah,
so,
sounds good.
Yes, it's about 2 hours here. Looking at an hour and 51. Yeah. Brian K. Morris, tell folks how they can find you.
Everything you need to know is at risingtide.pub. If you want to check out my my prose, go to amazon.com. I'm also available on YouTube. Every Thursday night, I do a show called Comic Book Spectrum, where we review comics. And last night, we had a very good discussion about crowdfunding you may want to check out. So please follow that show, like, and subscribe, because my fragile ego demands it. And otherwise, you'll find me on this show whenever I'm awake. And thank you for having me, guys. It's been a blast being with y'all.
I sincerely hope you're awake enough to come back next week so that we can finish this book off.
I'll definitely set the alarm. I was going to be on the show the other night, Randy, but I got my Scott Rosema alarm clock, and sorry.
That's not good for anybody.
No.
See Michael Lanning. Tell folks how they can find you.
As always, at my link tree /St. Michael Lanning. It's got all my socials and portfolio. And the next time you'll see me is tomorrow with Marv, John Celestri, Rodney Spike on Sketchy Saturday. So check that out. That's 10 a.m. Eastern.
I got to get something I can show and get on that. Just crash that show one of these days. It's been a long time since I've been on it. It's the first time I was on it. They were like going, well, we never knew you could draw. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sat there and did a quick sketch of me in the hospital bed, and they're like, oh, you're actually drawing. What's up? Yeah. Len, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on this program every Friday and on Randy's show on Sunday. You can see me on Thursdays on Comics Unlimited podcast on Ted Davis Artistry. And you can find all my work, magazines and books and things on Amazon. And I'm also on the social media things and all that kind of stuff. If you put my name in Google, you'll find me.
Sweet. And folks, my name's Randy Zimmerman. I've been your host for this wonderful program. Come back next week for part 3 which we didn't really intend to do, but we will anyway. We love looking through this stuff, folks. Don't take anything that we say as a negative critique on this. We are literally drooling over this work. It's beautiful, Steranko. As well, everyone should take some time out and take a look at some of this stuff. This is from the Artisan edition from IDW. It's a tremendously huge book. I'm not sure if it's even available on Amazon, but if you contact IDW and you look on their store, on their site, they would probably appreciate you buying a copy from them, because honestly, they could use the money.
Well, I think I can use the money, because I think the postage to the UK for that would be
astronomical.
Probably able to buy a plane ticket and go and get it from the shop in New York. You know.
It'd probably be cheaper.
Yeah. This sounds like a good idea.
I don't have my curtain up, so for once you get to see all the nasty clutter behind me. There we are.
I'm digging it.
So, well, anytime you're over, you can take a look at the library. So,
cool.
We could have called this show "I Love the Smell of Steranko in the Morning."
That's what we'll call the next one. No, that's too long of a title. I'll just put a part 3 next to the. That's what I did. I put a part 2 next.
Part 3 out of question mark. Yeah.
So we'll put part 37 just to be funny.
And then we'll put some of those little things that you find out what they're called at the side of
little
it.
Splash.
Yeah, please.
There you go.
Brian wants to know.
Yeah. I will look for that book. I know that I think it was Chris Brown, the guy who did maybe Dick Brown, that did Beetle Bailey. Did a cartooning book where he explained all of those symbols. We really need to have that on the show, because most of them are absurdly named anyway, because he just made something up. You know, this is the Bambeezel Giesel flu or whatever it is.
Everything's made up, Randy.
I'll start referring to it in my scripts. Make sure you put the Bambeezel Diesel here
there
on
you
the side
go.
of the word. So. I'm always trying to write more letterer and artist-friendly scripts. So.
We'll figure out what that is, because that's what we do here.
That's right.
Do that. We're not afraid
to
do that kind of research. The learning place. You've been watching Comics by Night, folks. We're all punch drunk and tired, but except for Glenn, who's about to go out and have brunch.
Yeah, that's tea and crumpets, I think.
Hi, tea.
We deeply appreciate you watching the show. If you were entertained by this at all, make sure you tell your friends to come in. Our numbers are way too low for the fun that we're having. So make sure you tell your friends about this show. We also do another show Sunday morning called Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the comics that we love and the comics that inspire us to keep doing what we're doing. That program also is a lot of fun. Plus, I do a Zimm cast on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. that practically nobody seems to go and want to watch, where we get a little bit more opinionated. But we'll see you hopefully over there one of these days.
Could we just say that we don't always talk about Steranko on this show?
We don't always talk about Steranko on the show, but if you want to watch more Steranko, part 1 was last week. So in part 3 or 37 will be next week. So, and maybe we'll actually get through this book, because there's so much more stuff to show you. It's just Steranko is that good. That
next week, when we probably finish the Steranko book that you've got there, what we should do is go through it again just to make sure.
We have to make sure we didn't miss anything. Then we would get to part 30.
Talk about the pages we didn't talk about.
Yeah. You can find my work over on Arrow Comics, where we sell books like Paragon. That's his great superhero title with a wonderful twist. A book I do mostly by myself called Herobot Zero, except issue 2 has got a great story with art in it from Peter Seckler that is Empyrean Vol sometimes in the chat. Did some excellent work. It's a great story. It's a fun book. And believe it or not, it's got a Scott Rosema cover on it. So issue 2 is at the printers now, and it will be available real quick. You can order it at the store, and we'll send it to you as soon as I get copies. Plus, this Calico Ashard book is a great book by some weird guy who draws it. I write it. So
I don't know what's wrong with that dude that draws it.
See, Michael actually draws it. Best work he's ever done, by the way.
Beautiful
And
work,
not,
man.
It's not
Seriously
because I wrote it, but it's because he drew it. So it's really great.
That's good.
It's a great fantasy adventure about a cat who's coming into her own as she bumps into a crazy elf who likes to collect things, a female centaur warrior, a character with a kind of small chip on his shoulder, and a little barbarian fairy who is probably more toxically masculine than he should be, and a wizened old Gandalf wizard as they all try to put their world back together again. It's a lot of fun. We also have the Revolt book available over on at arrowcomics.store. That's got a story in it by that guy over there. It's got a Hatch story in it.
Yeah.
It's got the first episode of Ginger Star, who's kind of the character here on the front cover. And that's real fun. And you'll read more about that if you go over there and buy it. There's also a lot of other products over there. There's a lot more stuff being added. We've got a lot of plans for 2023. We are Arrow Comics. You'll find us over on Facebook. We've got a link tree. All of the social platforms has got Arrow Comics on it now, and we're really looking forward to doing a lot more fun stuff. We've got a lot of stuff we can't talk about just yet in the planning stages it's going to be great. So can't wait to show that to you. Who's this in the chat? Michael stepped out for a second. Thanks so much, Hojo, Marv in the chat, Brown Dog. Happy to see you, Wiley. Wiley J draws. Kirby plus Wood equals Steranko. Not all the time, but most of the time. Yeah, this is his real early work that we're looking at, and he's heavily influenced by Kirby and Wood, but you'll really see as we go along his stylistic sense kicks in. We're seeing hints of it, just about every page. That's why we're drooling over it all the time. It's got a fantastic compositional sense that he had the time on this to learn, to explore, to play, and it really comes through on the page. That's why we like this stuff so much. Wiley Drawers also says more fun and excitement in these issues than a month's worth of modern Marvel. So true. Yep. Very true. Yep. Again, another reason why we like going over this stuff. And we've got a lot more stuff planned to show you. We're not all Steranko all the time. It looks like we're turning into Steranko month, though. What a great show. I've learned a lot. Thank you. Unfortunately, I'll be working next Friday. It will be my birthday. Well, happy birthday in advance, Marv.
Happy birthday, Marv.
And I hope to stay home. Let's see. Have a great weekend. You too, Marvy. Appreciate you deeply. Marvy does the Sin Killer that you can also get copies at the Arrow Comics store, I believe, and it's part of the Arrow tier over on the Rift Writers campaign. If you go over and look at that on Indiegogo, 8 great Arrow Comics #1s that are just phenomenal. And I can't talk about them highly enough without looking like an egotistical bastard. So let's just go over there for a small price. You get a great exposure to Arrow Comics. And like I said, there's a lot more coming in 2023. There's a lot more coming from all of us. There's more Comics Unlimited coming up in a couple of months here, right?
Yeah. It should be end of February in the next issue. Number 11. Number 11's out now on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. And no, I'm not going to show that. Anyway, I'll show you that off camera, off the air. In the meantime, folks, take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Read some great comics. Don't be discouraged by the stuff that's out there now. There's plenty of gold out there. If you look deep enough, there are plenty of sources for sequential art from all over the world that are just so phenomenal and so great. There's Archie's Christmas stocking, if you have to. My favorite Archie cover of all time. Betty and Me, number 16. For TVMA DLSV, folks.
When was that published, Randy?
I'm not sure, but you can't find that book for under $600 in a bad condition.
Is it the 50s?
12 cents? It's got to be 60s.
Probably 60s, yeah.
60s, right.
Early 60s. It was a more innocent age. A weapon for a more innocent time.
But he got along with Reggie a lot better after this, though.
Yeah, he did. Reggie was deeply appreciated for being beaten up. Absolutely. Folks, hit your local retailer and take a look through their boxes, will you? Their back issue boxes or magazine boxes. A lot of gold in there, too. Old Eries and Creepies. You can't go wrong with a Warren magazine or an old Marvel black and white mag. Well, some of them not. It's rare that you would go wrong with an old black and white Marvel magazine. But go in there and look. Great times. Thanks again for watching. Deeply appreciate everybody out there. Make sure you tell your friends. Indie Comics Network. We'll run a bump for them as we go out. Make sure you go over there and take a look at the great programming there. Wide variety of shows. Some you might not like. Most of them you will. So go over there and take a look.
How do they not like them?
Wait a minute. What are we saying here?
Everybody's got
I love
different
all of
tastes.
them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying everybody's got different tastes. That all. I'm not saying any of them are bad. It just
thinking out loud.
different strokes for folks. That's all. As Happy Joe would say.
Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Soon.
See ya.
Going out. Oh, and our disclaimer, just so you know. Just so you know. We'll see you soon.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors. Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicsSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comics Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
And you know, last week I went out showing our opening to Comics by Night, and it didn't show on the video. And Brian thought my microphone was off. I wasn't speaking because I figured the video was playing. I was just copying the guy, asking him. This is not a charade. So, and it was showing up on mine, and it didn't show up on the video at all. And Brian just kept talking. So,
yeah,
that's what I do.
It's been weird lately.
Yeah. A couple more bumps, folks, and then we're out of here. We'll see ya. Take care.
When your timeline reaches its Armageddon, what's a kid to do?
I'm not a...
Snag the keys to your mom's experimental ship, of course.
That's not quite how it happened.
Drift aimlessly in the rift between dimensions, trying to figure out how to operate it.
Now hold on a sec.
Pick up a few hitchhikers.
Hi! Hello.
And maybe solve a disturbing mystery that could lead to the destruction of reality itself.
You know, if this time... There's always time.
I'm not so sure about that.
Get in on the adventure with the Rift Riders on Indiegogo.
Hopefully you're all seeing that. Everybody seeing it? Yeah, okay, good.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horse shit, Jack.
No horse shit.